Hey! Hi. Ah. Here we are. This is a bit loud for me, but let me know if it's too loud for you too. It might just be my audio settings for my headset. Hey, Bancho! Long time no speak. How have you been? Also, Chidorin. 2 weeks. It's been quite a break, hasn't it? I'll ask you just right at the top. Do you have any advice for the music bug in the game? Because I started it just a few minutes ago and I went to the config to change a few things. And then when I went out of it, the audio happened again. The weird robotic thing. Hey Matchan, hey Bea. Just start the game. Ah, so if you start it, then it goes away? Because it scared me, so I closed the game and I opened it back up again. But okay, here we are. Hopefully nothing breaks. It stops once you... Ah, so it's a main menu thing. Okay, got it. But yeah, weird. Oh, Bencho, you're catching up with the pods. Oh, that's so cool. So happy to have you here. No worries about the VODs, this is a completely separate story. Or not completely separate, but it's not super tightly related to the developments of the other, I would assume, because it's about other characters. So it's a fresh start, so it's fine. You're dropping by at the right moment. So let's go. Let's go.
熱狂、そして強烈な嫉妬だった。舞台の上で演じられる眠れる森の美女。彼女の演じるオーロラ姫は情熱を持ってターンを繰り返し、情欲を煽るかのようにその手を優美に突き出し踊った。なぜこんなにも胸が締め付けられるのだろう。彼女の踊るオーロラ姫、そのフェッテ・アントルナを見て、自分の動かない足を恨めしいと思うのだろう。まるで羽が生えているような演技を見せつけられ、私は胸の内に尊敬にも似た畏怖の念すら抱いていることに気づく。いつしか自分の腕で体を抱きしめ、震えを抑えていることに。そして激しい嫉妬の裏側に確かな情愛を抱いていることも。私はつぶやかずにはいられない。願わくば、願わくば、私もあの舞台で共に。
My heart. Erika's very poetic. Very poetic. Oh, thank you, Bea. Oh, you're so cute. Thank you. Is this the girl with the weird epitaph level puzzle with the books and Erika? But the one who was speaking just now is Erika. Yeah. But I think the other one who was dancing is a new character, because it doesn't look familiar. Right, so suddenly a line from The Dark Knight Rises comes to mind. Of all things. Okay. But it's because I've been thinking precisely the opposite. What is the line?
暑い。
Oh, Bear. I'm so shy now. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I was kind of debating what to wear today, and while sifting through my shirts, I saw this one. I was like, oh, I haven't worn that one in a while. Perfect. Let's go. Scroll up. Ah, this part. How did I miss it? What? Okay, a hero can be anyone, even a man doing something as simple and reassuring as putting a coat on a young boy's shoulders to let him know that the world hadn't ended. Okay. Nice. All right. Erika. Stream dropped. Oof. Okay. Let me check. It's not on my side. I don't think so. I don't have any dropped frames. But I don't know. But let me know if it happens again. All right. Right. Outside the window, the verdant trees are bathed in sunlight. Even though it's the end of the school day, I still have to narrow my eyes against the sun's strong rays. Squinting, I can just make out the chapel in the distance. It really is a magnificent chapel. It just oozes history. Well, of course, this is a distinguished missionary school built in 1870. A school surrounded by dense forests and high walls. I move my gaze from the window to the ceiling of the hallway, wondering how long has passed now since I arrived. It feels like I've been boarding here for ages, having transferred in part-way through the term, but not that much time has actually passed. I'm quite surprised. Oh, Buncha was saying that life was busy. I think that's what I caught her earlier. I feel you. But I'm happy to have you with us whenever you manage to find the time. We're all very happy, as you can see. What with my legs, I haven't been able to attend classroom lessons. Back then, I'd played a little prank while returning some books I'd borrowed from the library. My bookworm buddy. The face of our little library sprite floats before my eyes. Speaking of figuring things out, I'm reminded of the 7 mysteries she'd told me about. Another instance of her playing detective. The whole situation had been so laughable. The phrase, much ado about nothing, springs to mind. Yeah, precisely. I love this side of Erika. I think I'm gonna have a lot of time, a lot of fun times with her as a perspective character. I like it. My bookworm buddy was always getting herself mixed up in those sort of things. Right. I'd also lent a hand when she was assailed by that weirdo student president. And I'd helped investigate the truth behind the Yatsushiro incident. Aw, Patch, thank you for the VTs. Hi. Which had been quite unbefitting of this peaceful academy. The result of my investigations. Rat detective. I smile to myself and look up at the ceiling as I think back on our efforts to resolve that incident. My bookworm buddy had been deadly serious, and our class president had earnestly offered forward her own ridiculous deduction. And the other... I click my tongue as my thoughts turn to our classmate who disappeared with the spring. She left without giving a second thought to the feelings of those she left behind. I don't particularly care myself, but for her... Just picturing her irritated expression is making me feel the heat even more. I put my hands to the rims of my wheelchair and push it forward. The rubber tires squeak as I make my way down the corridor. On my lap is the book I'd borrowed from the library, and the pressure of it on my thighs through my skirt is making me sweat. A biography. As someone who believes that life is just a matter of killing time, I'd always vowed that biographies, written records of that time wasting, were the one thing I'd never read. But my bookworm buddy had recommended it so fervently, I'd inadvertently found myself borrowing and reading it. It was a non-fiction title by Michael Gilmore? Michael? I don't know how to read that. The K is weird. It turned out to be quite a disturbing tale, and as I read it, I wondered at how one family could suffer such bad luck until, by the end, I had passed beyond pity to a state of amazement. She may look like a graceful young maiden, but she recommends the most shocking books. I laugh now because, yeah, we spent quite some time with her. That's definitely a description that suits her. Although maybe she's just a voracious reader. When it comes to books other than biographies, I'm the same. Before I know it, I've arrived before the library. Since I'm reclining back in my wheelchair, I lean forward and put my hand to the doorknob. Swoosh. A window must be open somewhere, as when I open the door it creates a through draft? A thorough draft? I don't know, drafts can be thorough, but okay. And my hair flutters in the breeze. It feels good. It smells like dust and damp and years passing. My favorite smell. Oh, this one's amazing. I like that smell too. I close the door behind me and go over to the desk to return the book I'd borrowed. At first I hadn't noticed her, but... It's there that I find my bookwork buddy staring fixedly at the metronome, as though it's her first time seeing the inner workings of a clock. Oh. Is she sad? She stares at the device despondently, looking like she's just now realized the truth behind things. I murmur her name to myself and quietly move my wheelchair over to her. With a swoosh, the breeze blows through the room again, ruffling her beautiful long hair. Her skin is so pale it's almost translucent, and the melancholic cast of her pretty, delicate features only serves to heighten its impact. The sprite of the library. The words had been half in jest, but seeing her like this, she really does have an otherworldly beauty to her. Like she's stepped from the pages of a fairy tale into real life. This thought strikes me as her long black hair sways in the breeze. I've never been jealous of another girl's looks. There he is. But the sight of Shirahane's hair almost elicits a sigh from my lips. That fine and glossy black hair is a true symbol of femininity. Imagining myself with long hair, I have the crazy idea that my own naturally unruly hair would have me looking like Medusa from the Greek legends, and I shake my head with a wry smile. Oh, come on. My movements cause my wheelchair to squeak, and Shirahane blinks as though waking from a dream, then forces a smile. Is this like summer uniform, or this looks a bit different? It doesn't have like the two-piece wrapped around the waist thing. She giggles slightly. My name is Erika Yaegaki. The name that this girl figured out. I addressed Shirahane's questioning look. Unique uniform for every season. Interesting. Okay. She asks me this with a forced smile that banishes her previous gloomy expression like it was never even there. I place the book on top of the desk. I parry Shirahane's rare joke, and she covers her mouth with her hand as she laughs daintily. I find myself spellbound by the sight of Shirahane's silky black hair swishing over her shoulder as she smiles. My eyes are following its flow when... She asks me. Shirahane's voice is, Suo's voice, why am I using her family name? Is very low again, so let's... Oh god, I hope this doesn't trigger anything. But... I should... Here, character specific settings. It's so low. There we go. Maybe I need to increase the voice a bit more? Let's try that. Everything's fine. We're good. Okay. Let's go. I can confirm it is hot in the summer. She rubs her upper arms, now bare, and smiles melancholically. Seeing Shirahane in her summer uniform and wearing that unnatural smile, I feel like I've caught a glimpse of the sorrow of time's passing. Of the anguish of those empty days that have passed since she disappeared. Of the Amitia partner who should be here with us right now. I stop Shirahane as she starts towards the bookshelves. I bite back the words of consolation that had risen in my throat and wheel myself over to the modern fiction shelves. When I open the window in my room, the rays of the evening sun filter in, along with the air outside, which is finally starting to cool. Perhaps because the academy is situated in a forest, the heat is dry and the humidity low. After a while spent gazing out through the open window at the vermilion sky, I noticed that my hot bedroom is also beginning to cool. Now then, what to do? Checking the clock, I see that it's still a while before Sister Basket comes to help me bathe. Ooh, okay, yeah, I was actually half wondering how she manages that so she gets help. So... But glancing at the book I've tossed on my bed, the memory of the biography I've just read lingers in my mind. I want to leave it a little longer before starting something new. As I'm gazing at the cover, all of a sudden, I hear something that sounds like a faint scream. Or nails scratching at a chalkboard. What? I turn my wheelchair in the direction of the in the direction the noise is coming from, somewhere beyond the open window. Okay, that's someone singing. I think. Wait, it's a voice. Straining my ears, I realize that it's actually the sound of someone singing. Fascinating. Confusing that with a scream or nails on a chalkboard is not a great start. It's quiet, like a radio turned down low, and yet the voice reverberates in my ears and in my heart. Is it because the melody is so sad? In summer, my window is open whenever I'm in my room. I've never heard singing before, though. I'm very interested in that. It sounded very cool, even if it was quite low. I whispered and smiled to myself. The grin that my bookworm buddy would call my cat smile. Guided by my ears, I put my hands to the handrims of my chair and head off to catch a glimpse of the owner of the voice. Somehow, as I push my wheelchair along in pursuit of that melody... Why am I nervous? I feel nervous. I start to develop a strange feeling inside. The voice is faint, but clear, sad and yet sweet, and I find myself stopping to listen. But this voice, it reminds me of my bookworm buddy's amitié partner who disappeared in the spring, Mayuri Kosaka. She performed the solo of that thing that I can't read, at the Feast of the Assumption. Her voice had an otherworldly quality to it, a real sense of power. I don't know why she disappeared, and I don't particularly want to. But for her... I shake my head and hurry on toward the voice. It seems to be coming from behind the dormitory building. They're nothing special compared to the magnificent row of cherry trees leading up from the school gate, but there are a few trees behind the dormitory too. And it's there. The voice leads me on, and suddenly there before my eyes. Is Mayuri Kosaka? Come on, no! That's not Mayuri, what are you talking about? She struggles a little bit with the high notes, but it's cute. Otherwise, it's cute. The girl sings on, illuminated by the blood-red light of the dying sun. The length of her hair, her stature, her very aura, it's all the same. No. I'd called Shirahane otherworldly, but this girl is just as beautiful. I feel like I'm watching a scene from a movie. Is she older than me? Her mature face is perfectly shaped, like a doll's. A line from a book I once read comes to mind. A being not of this world. A voice that squeezes at the heart. But there is no expression on the girl's face. Is it just that I can't read her emotions? It's as though she's singing simply out of duty. It feels mournful. For some reason, there's something sinister about the magnificent spectacle. Eh? Oh, okay. I didn't know what that sound was. The sound of a fallen twig cracking under the wheel of my chair resounds in the still air, and the girl stops singing. She then turns toward me, slowly, as though coming back to reality.
Dare?
She asks me this in a sharp voice, quite opposite in tone to her singing.
私はここの生徒だよ。人に尋ねる前に 自分から名乗るのが礼儀だぞ。
The girl stares back at me intently, as though trying to peer into my soul. After getting a sense of her demeanor from her voice, and after seeing those eyes of hers, I'd automatically spoken quite harshly.
So, 盗み聞きをしていたのね。
She doesn't answer my question and continues staring at me like I'm a piece of dirt on the sole of her shoe.
嫌な目つきだ。
Her eyes speak her annoyance. It reminds me of how I used to be, and it makes me feel strange.
勝手に聞こえてきたんだよ。ここは私の帰り道だ。それより、私の質問が聞こえなかったのか？
The girl looks over to where her things are leaning against the trunk of the cherry tree, as though she hasn't heard me at all.
おい、初日から嫌な気分にさせられるわね。この学院は優秀な者が集まると聞いていたのだけど。
She's quite defensive. Her mutterings reach my ears clearly, and I find myself getting even more pissed off than usual.
自分が優秀な人間気取りか。盗み聞きだと見下げているようだがな。言っておくが、はっきり言って大した歌じゃなかったぜ。
Very smooth, Erika. Very. Is it just me, or is the background music much louder and stronger in this game? I feel like it overpowers the voice, so I'm gonna set it like this. Let me know if it's too loud. Something like emotion finally crosses her face at my response. I much prefer it to the mask she'd been wearing before. But she quickly banishes it and bends down to retrieve her bag.
どうした？無視かよ。程度の低い相手とは話さないようにしているの。
Well, Erika seems to have met her match, because she definitely can stand her ground. I can't help but grin at this outright rudeness.
決めつけか。OJ シンプソンを有罪だと言い切るタイプだな。ここへは恨まれて逃げてきたのかい？
A distinct flash of emotion lights up her eyes at that. An irritation in her doll-like features that she makes no effort to hide. Then she slowly looks me over from my eyes to my face, my body, my wheelchair, and my useless legs.
あなたは卑怯者ね。
She says this right into my ear. And the baby, she continues. What an entrance! Wow! I spin around in anger, but she's already stalking off. She doesn't spare me a backward glance. Her silhouette is swallowed up by the twilight. I murmur aloud to my friend who disappeared with the spring. Tell me, Chidorin, how much are you holding in right now? The Frog Prince, okay.
日本ではカエルの王子様として知られる物語だ。王女が感謝の印としてカエルにキスをして魔法使いの呪いが解け、カエルは人の姿に戻り王女と結ばれるというもの。しかし本来の話の筋は知られている物語ほど優しくはない。王女が泉に金のマリを落とし、カエルは友達になってくれるのなら拾ってこようと申し出る。王女はその条件を飲むも、カエルと友人になろうとせず、城へと去ってしまう。 これから始まる物語は去った者を待つ哀れなカエルのお話。
Alright. Alright. I, for one, can certainly understand how he'd feel. He? A sea of curious eyes are staring at me. I attend classes rarely, but for once, I've deigned to show my face in the classroom. Oh, the frog print. Okay, but yeah, okay. That's the he. Okay.
まあ、自分の席が一瞬どこだかわからないくらいには来てなかったものな。
When I arrive at my own seat, I flop face down on the desk. I feel like a panda in a zoo. As the rabble continue staring at me, the door to the classroom opens and someone rushes over with a grin.
ごきげんよ。珍しいわね。教室で八重垣さんを見るなんて。
It's Rika Hanabishi, our straight-laced class president. She greets me with a most charming smile.
それでどうしたの？何か困ったことでもあったの？
She's also quite a busybody.
別に相談するために来たんじゃないってのは。ただ、バスキア教諭から顔を見せろって頼まれてさ。ダリア先生から？ああ。無視してもいいんだが、バスキア教諭には世話になってるからな。恩知らずにはなりたくない。
Rika's eyes, what happened there? The president's eyes widen behind her glasses.
なんだよ。
Oh, I found it too. That's what I figured out myself as well. Thank you, Chidarin. It's on the same site, right? I just googled it quickly before the stream. I realized when I sat down to stream, like, oops, I had not actually looked for a guide. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think it's the same one that I have. Yep. That's where I'm looking. Thank you so much. Awesome. All right.
お茶会にも来てくれたものね。
She's hinting at something.
他人に興味を抱かない私が意外だなって思ったってことか。どこかの会長じゃないが、義理が廃ればこの世は闇よってやつだよ。世話になってりゃ別だ。
Repay kindnesses in turn. That's what my middle sister said, albeit pretty sourly. I didn't get the idea from her, but I feel the same way.
そうね。
I'm a bit disconcerted by the president's demeanor as she smiles and shakes her braids. I know that she has good intentions, but I don't deal well with those sorts of sentiments. The press hasn't even gone to put her bag on her desk. She's obviously still got more to say. It seems like she intends to spend the time before morning prayers chatting with me. Just as I'm thinking this, a lively voice reverberates through the room and I feel even more vexed. The twins, who are tiny even for first-year students, make a beeline for me.
どうしたの？教室に八重垣ちゃんがいるなんて変だよ。
They're both so cute! The wide eyes! So cute. The one with 2 beauty spots and her hair tied up is Ichigo, the elder of the two.
珍しい光景ですね。
The one with the single beauty spot and her hair down is the younger sister Ringo. It's so easy to get them jumbled up. I remember how the near-identical sisters themselves explained how to tell them apart.
お前ら大概失礼だよな。
I say.
だって珍しいじゃん。それは私も思うけどね。でも気の弱いやつなら教室から回れ右するような言い方だぞ。そうかな。いちご姉は勢いで話す癖があるから気をつけないと。
She's just excited. Hey, you were treating me like a zoo animal yourself. As I'm quipping to myself, I hear a clear voice from somewhere above me. It's a familiar voice. And it belongs to exactly the kind of person who would do an about turn at the twins' words.
Oh, ずいぶん遅い投稿じゃないか。図書室に寄ってから来たの。
She puts a hand to her chest and smiles. She must have been rushing. Thankfully, she's not the type to ask annoying questions.
で、どうして八重垣ちゃん教室にいるの？
I'd like these two to take a leaf out of Shirahane's book. I know.
少しからかってやるかな。
Okay, what's she gonna do? I came to say goodbye. I took a prank too far and got called in here. Alright, the guide says we need to say I came to say goodbye. Okay, it sounds like a little bit much, but let's see. Deciding to play a little trick on the twins, who are peering at me with great curiosity, I heave an exaggerated sigh.
あれあれ、本当に深刻な問題だったり？普段教室に顔を見せない私がいるってことは、相応の訳があるのさ。実は。
The twins gulp. Hey, they're pretty cute up close.
今日でこの学院を去るんだよ。
Oh, you chicken.
嘘。
That was a bigger reaction than I'd expected. The class president, who already knows why I'm here, narrows her eyes in exasperation, while Shirahane appears to be in a state of great shock for some... Well, she's gullible, she believed you.
そんな、私的にまだお部屋にも遊びに行っていないのに。誘ってないからな。
Hi.
寂しくなる。
Oh, they are so cute. The two of them look genuinely upset, which is a bit of a surprise. Their eyes are welling up with tears. Even though we've only known each other for 3 months at best. Oh, oh, look at her eyes. What? A small hand covers mine. Small, warm, and perfectly cute.
私、お手紙書くからね。忘れない。
My heart. They stare at me, I think, with the utmost seriousness.
これ以上は悪趣味になるわよ、八重垣さん。あ、そうだな。
I place my other hand on top of hers. Just kidding, I tell them with a grin, letting their protests roll off my back. I tell Shirahane how Sister Basket had requested that I come to class today. She puts her hand to her chin.
八重垣さんを呼ぶだなんて、何か特別な理由があるのかしら。
She lapses into thought. She always seeks an answer right away for even the smallest things. Yeah. I have the feeling we're gonna have a lot of fun. It was a Trailblazer style dialogue chose love at the end. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Oh god. Well, I suppose that's the interesting thing about her.
さっさと義理を果たして部屋のベッドに転がりたいよ。いつもなら寝てる時間なんだぞ今は。それはダメよ。生活習慣は正しくするべきだわ。
The president makes an earnest point in response to my banter, but I brush it off dismissively. I catch a whiff of her sweet, fresh scent as she leans forward.
こいつも笑ってればかなりの美形なんだけどな。
That uptight look of hers cuts her attractiveness in half. Although maybe some people are into that kind of thing.
ごきげんよう。はい皆さん、席についてくださいね。
At that kindly yet somewhat airheaded voice, Poor Sister Baskin. We all take our seats. I lift my head from where it had been resting on my desk and languidly look over at the owner of the voice. She's as beautiful as ever. She comes up to help me every day, thanks to my legs, and I think the same thing each time. Topaz eyes, framed by her slender features, lustrous, shining hair like fine silk. Her figure is voluptuous and womanly, quite a rarity here at the academy. Honestly, I'm pretty jealous. She's a grown woman. You're a teenager, just... Okay. A sigh escapes my lips as I think of my own messy hair and scrawny body. She addresses me like a child and I raise my hand slightly in response. I hear a suppressed giggle and I suddenly feel embarrassed. Her slightly downturned, honey-colored eyes are fixed on me. New classmate moment. Sister Basket calls out through the door, though there's no immediate answer. Then the door opens and the people she'd been keeping waiting enter the classroom. People? Is it like multiple? To be honest, I'd had a hunch about what was going on from the way she led into it. From the moment Sister Basket said she had some wonderful news. However... Oh, wow! 6! Say what now? And yeah, there she is. While I'm curious as to the high number of transfer students, my eyes are fixed on just one of them. The one with the extraordinarily haughty expression, like every little thing she encounters is an annoyance. The serious-looking transfer students do as they're told and introduce themselves to us one by one. Then, lastly, it's the turn of the girl with those horrible eyes. There it is! Hi! Hi, Chidorin. One Chidorin, two Chidorins. Alright. She throws this out coolly. Her haughty attitude reminds me of our encounter under the cherry tree. Sister Basket urges her to perhaps say a few words more, but... She shuts it down. This girl! Perhaps having overheard my mutterings, the student in front of me looks back in surprise and stares at me. I ignore her and glare at Chidori Takasaki. Everyone is intrigued by her use of the word work. A buzz starts up across the classroom, and then our president raises her hand slightly. She asks the question that's on everyone's mind. She claps her hands together as though it's only just occurred to her. My classmates seem very interested to learn that one of the new transfer students is a celebrity. As for me, at least that's the impression I get. A two-faced bunch. Wow, Chidorin, I didn't know you were famous.
組とかで見たことあるよ。
Those words add fuel to the fire, and the buzz grows louder, with more and more of the students turning their fervent gazes on the girl, this Chidori Takasaki. Then the questions start to fly like arrows. Are you enrolling here properly, not just temporarily? Will you keep performing? Can I get your autograph? And in response to all these questions, the same answer.
この学院は気に入りました？
She just arrived. How can she answer that question? Come on, Rika.
わからないわ。そう。
The class president's taken aback expression mirrors that of the rest of the class. Somehow, Takasaki shuts everything down with her short, I don't know, in response to the president's question.
こいつ、白羽以上に人付き合いに難りなんじゃねえの?
No, it's more like she doesn't have any intention of making friends with anyone in the first place.
そこだけは気が合っているみたいだが。質問はもうないよね。
It seems that everyone has realized that there's something strange about this Chidori Takasaki. Their fervor has died down, and a strange hush has descended over the room. Like a bunch of idiots have got carried away with themselves and spoiled things for everyone.
それでは皆さん、新しい転入生の皆さんと仲良くしてあげてくださいね。
There's a chorus of agreement.
それと転入生たちのアミティエですが。
At these words, everyone's expressions change, especially those of the Sasaki twins.
あいつらはアミティエが辞めているからな。
Thinking about it logically, they'll probably have the new students fill in for those who have left. I have the feeling she's gonna get partnered up too. Okay, let's see. As I'm wondering about this,
彼女たちは昨日アミティエ選考試験を受けてもらっています。
she looks around at everyone.
彼女たち同士で組んでもらうことになったの。
Uh-huh. I'm a little deflated at the sound of this completely inoffensive compromise.
高崎が白羽の班になったら面白そうだったのに。
Oh, okay. Yeah. That weirdo would have been quite a burden for the straight-laced class president and the serious, sensitive Shirahane. Which is exactly why I thought they'd have made an interesting combo. Well, the group she'd probably get along best in would be...
佐々木姉妹のところか。
Would she? I feel like they're at complete opposite ends of the... I don't know, socializing spectrum. There's Chidori saying, I don't know, to everything. And then there's the twins, curious about everything. Like, it's just like... buzzing little bees. Always hyper. And interesting and involving themselves in everything. It's currently just the two of them in their Amitia group too. With their outgoing personalities, even an oddball like her would find themselves swept along in their current. Having concluded her explanation to the transfer students, Sister Basket puts her hand on Takasaki's shoulder and looks around the classroom. Then, for some reason, her gaze fixes on mine. Okay, there we go. She smiles brightly. Oh no.
ごめんなさいね。そういえば、一つだけ例外があったの。アミティエ選考試験だけど。
When Sister Basket smiles brightly, run. But Erika can't. Ay.
このクラスの生徒で高崎さんと非常に気質が合う子がいたの。
Oh, guess who? Come on, don't tell me.
だから転入生組は3名と2名で分かれることになるけれど、それで構わないわよね、高崎さん。
The bewildered-looking Takasaki just gives a slight nod, and Sister Basket claps her hands together and smiles.
それじゃあ高崎さんのアミティエですが。
Come on, seriously, you're kidding, right?
八重垣さんに頼みたいと思っています。よろしいですよね、八重垣。意義あり。
My bad feeling had been right on the mark. I shamelessly fling my hand in the air.
どうしました、八重垣さん。 なんでイレギュラーな決め方をするんですか。転入生が6人なんだから3人と3人でアミティを組めばいいんじゃありませんか。
ええ、だけど先ほども説明したでしょ。高崎さんはアミティエ選考試験を受けてもらい、そこで厳正な審査の結果決まったことなの。
She says this conclusively. And it was judged that she'd get along well with me? No freaking way.
あ、いや、それは
大丈夫よ。ちゃんと選考した上で八重垣さんなの。二人ともきっと気が合うわ。
Her tone is gentle, yet to me it sounds worse than nails scraping down a chalkboard.
アミティエとして仲良くしてあげてくださいね。
In response to her calm explanation of the reasoning, all I can say is, anything but this, I prefer to be alone. Yeah, we say that we prefer to be alone. Okay.
一人きりがいいのに。
The unvarnished truth spills from my lips. Although I'd said it quietly, my voice still reaches Sister Basket's ears.
八重垣さん。
A melancholy shadow passes over her honey-colored eyes, and she moves to stand before me.
あの
Her sweet, womanly scent washes over me as she wraps her soft hand around mine.
大丈夫。先生は分かっていますからね。
え？
これからは寂しくありませんよ。きっと毎日が楽しく、
Oh yeah.
安寧に満ちた生活になります。
Peaceful? Nah. But filled with fun? Yeah, fun for us to witness it.
なんか勘違いされてる。
She clearly thinks that I'm some lonesome girl trying to put on a brave face. She speaks to me in a quiet voice like she's consoling a child.
いや、そういうことではなくてですね。
何？
いえ、なんでもないです。
I said I don't hold up well against people acting of pure goodwill. Well, there's someone I'm even weaker against.
どうにも事情を思い出して仕方ないんだよな。
Although in appearance and personality she's completely different, Sister Basket still strongly reminds me of my second oldest sister.
わかりました。
I tried to pull my hand out of her warm grasp.
それではホームルームの後、学院内の案内をしてあげてくださいね。
She keeps a firm grip on my hand. All I can do is answer in the affirmative. Our class president asks if she has any questions, and Takasaki answers that there's nothing in particular.
こいつもめげないね。
The president's courtesy doesn't waver as she continues to showing Takasaki around, the latter walking along beside her quite expressionlessly. The tour of the academy's various facilities is straightforward. Information she'd do well to know, the shortest route from the clubhouse back to the classrooms, where the toilets are located, and so on. Takasaki doesn't say a single word in response to the president's enthusiastic explanations, but the president soldiers on, regardless of whether or not her stony-faced companion is even listening. What a trooper.
ま、こいつが同行を求めてこなきゃ、愛想なし女を持て余してただろうしな。
Right. I had been asked by Sister Basket to show Takasaki, my new Amitia partner, around the academy. Thinking that I wouldn't be able to bear being alone with her.
頼む、白羽。学内の案内一緒についてきてくれないか？え、私が？
I'd asked my bookworm buddy for help. For a moment, she'd looked bewildered by my request, then
私でよければ。
she'd agreed, her cheeks flushed for some reason. Then,
スオさんが行くなら、私も。
of course, the president had joined us as well. Thinking about it now, her offer had been worth its weight in gold.
なんせ委員長以外は 人嫌いと
Yeah.
重度の人見知りだもんな。
Yeah. Yeah, definitely Rika is the best fit for this. Mm-hmm.
何か言った八重垣さん。
いや、自分たちはいらないなって話さ。
あ、ええ、そうね。
The president is taking responsibility for the entire campus tour. Well, I didn't particularly feel like doing it, and Shirahane isn't a great talker.
他の5名は風紀委員が案内しているって話だよな。
Surely Takasaki should have gone with them instead.
それとこの学院で紹介すべきところは
I can tell where we're going from the direction she's headed. If Sister Basket's introduction were indeed true, then this might be the only spot that actually piques the interest of this awful po-faced girl? What is that? Is that a typo or is that something that I don't know? Likely something that I don't know. After walking along for a while, bathed in the warm rays of the sun, the president comes to a stop in front of a door. Ah, the
ここが
ballet.
バレエのレッスン室よ。
The ballet classroom, yep. When she steps into the room, a tiny sliver of admiration peeks through the no mask Takasaki wears.
本当にバレエのレッスン室があるのね。ええ、この学院の体育の時間はすべてクラシックバレエなの。高崎さんは経験者なのよね。
Yeah, I don't know. Mancho. Having an assumed solemn, serious, or earnest expression or manner. Thank you, Bea. Okay. Yeah. Right. We learn things every day.
ええ。
Having hit upon this rare moment of mutual understanding, the president eagerly attempts to engage her in conversation. However, Takasaki goes on ahead to inspect the room herself, caressing the bar as gently as one might a baby.
気に入ったようね。
You think they are being unnecessarily serious about something. Okay, got it. Thank you, Bam.
そうみたいだな。
To be honest, I don't know what there is to be pleased about. Perhaps there are things that only an experienced ballet dancer would appreciate.
鏡がフランス製だとか。かね。
I'm just astounded by the sheer size of that mirror. Like, how does that work in that kind of length? Doesn't it like warp or something with time? Like, okay. But yeah, it's something that I had in my mind the first time we even saw this place. I smile wryly. It's probably beyond me anyway.
ねえ。はい、何かしら。バレエの授業は専門の指導者がいるの？あ、それは。
The president is about to answer, but then for some reason, despite my sitting by silently amid all the excitement, she stops herself and turns to me.
八重垣さん、高崎さんの質問に答えてあげて。
はあ？なんで私が？
だってこれからアミティエとして共に行動するのでしょ。早く仲良くなっておいた方がいいわ。
I'm about to refuse this well-intentioned meddling of hers when
早く答えて。
Takasaki's haughty voice reverberates around the room and I heave a deep sigh. It's me! Oh, please tell me I can say it's me. Yes, that's the Okay. I'm bracing myself for this. Truly a trailblazer kind of answer. It's me. After looking straight into those distasteful eyes of hers for a moment, I tell her that I'm the ballet instructor.
あなたが？
そうだ。車椅子に乗っているからっておかしいかい？ サッカーの監督が全て元選手だってわけじゃないだろ。
At my spur of the moment joke, Takasaki walks toward me without the slightest change in expression.
なんだよ。
She stares intently into my face. Her porcelain skin peeks out from her black uniform. A scent like fresh peaches drifts across from her. She's wearing my favorite type of perfume. Or maybe it's her conditioner? Either way, it's annoying. I like it, it's annoying. I love it. Oh, this is gonna be so good.
おい。嘘つきの顔をじっくり確認しておきたかったのよ。お芝居の研究になるでしょ。お芝居だ？そうよ。あなたみたいなタイプはいなかったから興味深いわ。変わり者ね。そうかい。お前も五同類だよ。ゴッホや地味編も変わり者だった。
I'm surprised to hear the name Jimi Hendrix come up in our conversation. Although personally I prefer Led Zeppelin.
そろそろちゃんと答えてあげれば？
The president gives us an out from our exchange. Having lost interest, I simply tell her that Sister Basket teaches the classes and Takasaki's usual expressionless mask returns.
そろそろ案内は終わったんじゃねえの？
I give her a hint that I want to leave, but
まだ学者以外の説明が終わってないわ。
seems like the press didn't exactly catch my hint.
校舎の外となると。
The main places you'd need to know about would probably be the gazebo, the chapel, the allotments, and the greenhouse.
車椅子で出歩くには面倒な場所なんだよ。
Yeah, I was just thinking that, like, how easily or not easily accessible that is for her. Since it's unpaved around the front of the chapel, I'd prefer not to go there.
宿舎に戻るときは土を落として入らなくちゃならないしな。
Perhaps my annoyance is showing because Shirahane looks a little restless.
そうだわ。
She claps her hands together excitedly.
とっておきの場所があるの。高崎さんも八重垣さんも気に入ると思うわ。
Okay. Suo to the rescue, I guess. Just as I had expected. Ah. When we get outside, we head first to the adjacent chapel. And then to the gazebo where my classmates hold their tea parties. Before, Shirahane pushes my wheelchair over to the greenhouse, slightly further removed from the school. Our final stop is the allotments where we grow vegetables, and with that the tour is finished. Or so I'd thought. Oh! Bunnies! Look at the bunnies! Bunnies. My bookworm buddy suddenly pipes up. What do you think? Aren't they adorable? Yes. Yes. A million times yes. Yes. Bunnies. Bunnies. Frankly, I'm not interested at all, so all I can manage is a limp, yeah. Erika. Such a wet blanket. On the way back from the allotments, Shirahane had tried to turn down a route that would take us back to the greenhouse, and I jokingly asked if she was looking to sabotage the tour.
これからとっておきの場所に行くのよ。
That's how she'd responded. I finally remembered what she had said before we set out on our little tour of the grounds. Since she was the one pushing my wheelchair, I was wheeled along at her mercy until... Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, look at them, there's so many of them, it's so cute. And they come with the carrot. Oh, and the two brown ones like leaning against Chidori's legs. That's so cute, I can't. How adorable is that? Alright.
そう、とっても可愛いでしょ。
Shirahane is stroking the rabbit's head as you might comfort a child. The rabbit narrows its eyes blissfully as she pets it, as though intoxicated by the sensation. So small creatures do have it in them to keep still.
それにしてもウサギ小屋かよ。小学校じゃ定番だが、 この学院にもあったんだな。
私も最近知ったの。農場で廃棄される野菜をどこに捨てたらいいか上級生に聞いたら、この子たちにあげるんだって聞いて。
Plant beets.
へえ。
The beginning, yes. I gaze at the rabbits who are munching innocently on what look to be cabbage leaves. Rabbits are actually pretty big.
ほら、こっちよ。人参があるわよ。ほらほら、美味しいわよ。
全然懐かれないのな、委員長。
Aww. Yeah, I guess so, I guess so.
うさぎは人参が大好きなんじゃないの？
She calls out to them, but the rabbits don't so much as turn her way. Her shoulders slump. Her braids appear to droop quite pitifully. Aww.
お前も餌やったらどうよ。
If the president has no affinity for animals, then Takasaki is the complete opposite. Even though she has no food or anything, the rabbits congregate around her feet in such numbers that she can't take a single step.
どうしたらそんなに懐かれるの？わからないわ。
She looks bewildered, but holds out the leaves I hand her toward the rabbits, who immediately scramble for them.
食べてる。
Aww. Is that the first time we even see her smile? I think I see a small smile cross Takasaki's lips. Yes, there we go.
なんだ、笑えるんじゃんか。
In that moment, Takasaki becomes slightly more human to me. Maybe because our first encounter had been so unreal, she had seemed like a character from a dream.
高崎さんはお家で何か動物は飼っていたの？何も。仕事以外では初めて触れたわ。
The president seems shocked to hear this, but perhaps glad to be able to keep the conversation going, she gives up on trying to coax the rabbits.
そう。あまりに慣れているからご趣味で動物を飼っているのかと思ったわ。
She says.
趣味？何か変なことを聞いてしまった？趣味は持ったことはないわ。私、無駄なことはしない主義なの。
Her words are clipped, and I can't help but react to the phrase wastes of time.
無駄なことはしないって。人生なんてその無駄を楽しむものだろ。
人生を切り開くのなら、無駄な要素は省くものよ。
I counter those clipped words of hers with some of my own.
バレエが趣味だって言ってたじゃないかよ。趣味ってのは暇つぶしの代表だろ。
趣味は自分にとって益かどうかで決めるものだわ。
趣味に意義を見出したら、それは習い事だろうがよ。
Those are good points. Perhaps that hit home because Takasaki narrows her pale green eyes and stares at me intently, as though to ascertain my true intentions. That haughty expression again. This girl really is.
そろそろ教室へ戻りましょう。うさぎさんたちもあまり構いすぎると疲れてしまうでしょうし。
そうだな。
ええ。バイバイ。
Aww. Look, they have a little sign here that says Usagi in hiragana. A little rabbit. How cute! I avert my gaze from Takasaki at the president's intercession and look over at my bookworm buddy who's waving to the rabbits. It's hard to put into words for a misanthrope like me, but the way she's waving at the rabbits reminds me of the old Shirahane, and I can't help but smile a little.
どうしたの、八重垣さん。
いや。
Shirahane still seems reluctant to leave the rabbit pen.
早くして。じゃないと置いていくわよ。
Takasaki, who's walking ahead with the president, calls back to us, and I flash another cat-like smile at my bookworm buddy.
な、いいアミティエだろ。
My voice is dripping with sarcasm. There's a line in a Hemingway novel that goes like this. The world is a fine place and worth fighting for.
後半の部分は賛成だ。
The hair that reminds me of Kosaka, those jade eyes, that scent of
思っ
peaches.
たよりも小さい部屋ね。
I glare at my roommate. The first words out of her mouth when she enters the bedroom are derogatory.
窓際は私のベッドだ。お前はドア側だ。わかったな。
That's what I tell Takasaki. I'd hoped to get everything out of the way by the end of the tour, but
アミティエになったからには同じ部屋になるんだよな。
it was no wonder that she'd turn up here straight after class. I let out a sigh as I watched Takasaki survey the room with that haughty expression of hers.
かの文豪も戦えと言っているしな。あなた独り言が多いわね。お前が吐かせているんだよ。おい、勝手に本棚のものに触れるなよ。そこにあるのは全て私物だ。この本全部が？そうだよ。読書が趣味なんだ。令嬢然とした私に似合ういい趣味だろ。
Rather than hitting back with a rude response, Takasaki sets her luggage down on the unused desk and starts unpacking.
ここにある本、すべて読んでいるの？ああ、当然だろ。それが何か。
She gazes at the shelf, her eyes moving over the spines of the
一
books.
貫性がないわ。本なら何でもいいと言った風ね。やはり変わり者だわ。それはお互い様だろ。なあ高崎、お前途中編入だけどさ、何をしてここへ飛ばされたんだ？
She stops in the midst of her unpacking.
あなたも途中編入組だと聞いたけれど。へえ、誰に聞いたのかね。おしゃべりな双子姉妹か。ま、そうだ。なら想像がつくでしょ。私と同じ理由だってことかい？
She flashes me a crooked smile. You could read it two ways. Either she's sneering at me, or smiling wryly at our shared circumstances.
まあいいさ。同じホテルカリフォルニアにチェックインしたんだからな。
Oh man, the references. Oh my god.
仲良くとは口が裂けても言えないが、お互い境界線だけは守っていこうぜ。チェックインするのはたやすくても、決して立ち去ることはできない。
Mm-hmm. Well, what do you know? Seems like she knows a bit of American rock.
歌詞じゃ、大敗的な滞在者に嫌気がさして飛び出そうって話だが、住めば都ってやつだ。それも互いにプライバシーを守るのが大前提だがね。こんなところ、さっさと出ていくわ。
I hear her mutter something. Her brooding expression piques my curiosity, but
さっきからお互いの私生活には踏み込めないって言っていたけど、聞いてるのかね。
she's an elusive one. There's a sudden knock at the door. I call out, inviting the person inside. And yet another elusive character enters.
ごきげんよう。あらあら、荷ほどきをしていたのね。
はい。
八重垣さんも協力してあげたのね。もう仲良くなったみたいね。
She elegantly covers her mouth with her hand to hide her smile. She must have gotten the wrong impression since Takasaki and I were facing one another as she came into the room.
さすがにどこに目をつけてるんだと言いたくないぜ。
But I can't say a thing when faced with an embodiment of goodwill more formidable even than the president's.
どう？八重垣さんに学院内を案内してもらって、ここは気に入ったかしら？高崎さんは恥ずかしがり屋さんなのね。
As usual, Sister Basket chooses to see only the best.
まあ、この人は性善説の人だからな。
Of course, I'm of the opposite opinion.
それで、バスキア教諭、何かご用があるのですか？
あ、そうそう、 そうなのよ。言い忘れたことがあって伺ったの。
She folds her arms in front of her chest with a smile, squashing her ample bosom. That was not necessary. Why was that there? Why did I need to read that? The sight of it gives me an odd feeling.
八重垣さんと同室になった高崎さんには心得てもらいたいことがあるの。
Agreed to? Takasaki repeats the phrase, and Sister Basket says it once more.
八重垣さんとアミティアになったからには、はい、少し前かがみになってね。
Before I have a moment to protest, I find myself being picked up, as usual. Oh no. Oh no no no.
ベッドに移動するときや移動のときはこうして抱き上げて。先生ほらダメよ。暴れたら危ないわ。
She rocks me tenderly in her arms as though soothing a child. Her full breasts are pressed up against my cheek and I can feel my entire face flushing. I'm enveloped in Sister Basket's sweet scent as she gently lays me down on the bed.
つまりは私が八重垣さんの介助を行うと。
そう。ほとんど八重垣さん一人で行えるけれど、大変なところは協力してほしいの。例えば食事をこの部屋に持ってきたり、
バスキア共有。
あとはお着替えとかかしら。そうね。それじゃパジャマへ着替えるのを私が実演するわね。
あ、いや、本当に勘弁してください。
I look over at Takasaki, but
笑ってはないか。
she's just wearing her usual haughty look. I'd have given her a real piece of my mind if she was sneering, but
そう？まあ、お着替えは実演しなくともわかるわよね。それじゃあ今度は車椅子に移動する時の介助を見ていてね。
she moves my chair over to the side of the bed, then leans down toward me encouragingly. Knowing Sister Basket's personality, resistance is futile. So I go along with her in order to get it over with as quickly as possible.
こうして体重を任せてもらえば随分と楽になるの。それと腕力で体を引き起こそうとしてはダメ。直立した姿勢でなく腰を落としておくの。
なぜです？
力だけで移動させようとすると腰を痛めてしまうからよ。体全体を使って解除するの。
Yeah, that generally applies when you're lifting anything that's heavy. Don't put that pressure onto your back. With that, she picks up my limp body and moves me into the wheelchair waiting beside the bed. I'd let her get on with it.
世話になっている以上、無限にはできないしな。
Given the seriousness of their demeanors, I imagine that getting bashful now would be far more embarrassing.
わかったかしら？
はい。
She pulls a notepad from her bag and nods as she jots down a few memos. She's taking notes. Nice. Sister Basket puts her forefinger to her lips.
あとはそうね、お風呂だけど。
I take it back.
本当にそれだけは勘弁してください。
I thought that getting all bashful here would be embarrassing, but I'm loath to have Takasaki see me naked. I'd loathe, probably. I'd loathe for her to see me naked, yeah. Honestly, I think I'd rather die.
あら、
For some reason, Sister Basket blushes. A rare sight.
八重垣さん、お風呂の介助は私がいいの？
She addresses me. I'm fine on my own. I wouldn't want it to be anyone but you. Oh god. We have to say the second. Because her skin is so white to start with, her blushing cheeks are blindingly obvious. It's incredibly hard to say as much when Sister Basket is acting this bashful, but...
先生の方がいいかなって。
I have no choice but to respond like this.
あら
え？おい、勘違いするなよ。そんなんじゃ。
Her joy changes instantly to disappointment. Why would she be disappointed?
いや、言葉の通りなの。
I can't think of the right words.
別に消去法だってのに。
I don't want Takasaki to do it, so I'd rather go with Sister Basket. There's nothing strange about it.
人に選ばれるって嬉しいものね。
Cute. I remain silent while Sister Basket clasps her hands together in delight.
あら、八重垣さん、疲れているみたいだけど大丈夫？
アイスを抱えてやけ食いしたい気分ですけど、平気です。
ダメよ。そんなことをしたらお腹が冷えてしまうわ。
My sarcasm flew right over her head.
それじゃ少し早いですけど行きましょうか。
With an angelic smile, Sister Basket puts her hands to the handles of my wheelchair. I'm embarrassed. It's been a long time since I felt shame of this kind. It's different to being embarrassed by someone or turning red because someone picked up on a moment of ignorance. It's a purely sexual embarrassment. Okay, I guess here we are.
どこかおかゆいところはありますか？
今日はいつも以上に楽しげですね。
My eyes can't help but linger on her skin, so brilliantly white that you wouldn't think she was Japanese. Then, they're not particularly visible under her usual robes, but I can't take my eyes off the two obvious protrusions under her bath towel. Why do we have to do this? Just leave Sister Basket alone. She's a nun! She's a nun. Can we, like, not do that?
すごいよな。
Although in general Sister Basket tends to remind me of my sister, this is one area she doesn't. All the women in my family are slender and flat-chested.
いつもより八重垣さんとたくさんお話できているからかしら。
Oh, oh, yeah. Really? Okay. Why do I have to read this? Her full breasts jiggle as she washes my legs, and I hurriedly avert my gaze. Yes, please, move that text away from me. I'm used to this. At home, my two elder sisters had helped me bathe, and after entering the academy, that task had fallen to Sister Basket. And I guess Bea probably took a screenshot of that or something. Oh, looking forward to it. Okay, okay. Okay. At first, I'd felt embarrassment, but since it's an act of care, the shame had disappeared after the first 2 or 3 baths.
はずだったんだけどな。
強くしすぎたかしら？
いえ、ちょうどいいくらいです。
そう？上手になったかしら？
Because of Chidori Takasaki, I've become self-conscious again. I let out a little sigh, hoping to dispel some of my ardor.
今日はずいぶん念入りにやるんですね。
少し早めに来たから念入りにしましょう。女の子ですものね。
はあ。
Each year group has a set time period in which to use the baths. Because of my disability though, I bathe before everyone else. We don't exactly have to rush, but we can't take our time either.
世話をかけてすいません。
あらあら、今日はずいぶんと素直なのね。
She smiles brightly. Her golden hair, usually covered by her habit, flutters about and I find myself captivated by it.
素直ついでに聞いてもいいですか？
なに？
Alright, okay. Sorry for for being suspicious of you.
どうして高崎とアミティエにしたんですか？
I turn my gaze from Sister Basket's hair to her gentle golden eyes. They stare straight into mine, and I can clearly read what's written in them.
いや、頼ることを学ぶためでした。
A smile spreads across her lips at my words.
それもだけれど、高崎さんと気が合うと思ったの。
正直、合わないと思います。
そうかしら。二人ともとても似ているわ。
I want to shout out my objection, but the look on her face stops me. Her expression tells me that she really does believe what she's saying. I sigh. It feels like that's all I've been doing today.
かわいいわ、八重垣さん。私が同級生だったらアミティエになりたかったわ。
I'd want to be yours. I prefer being alone. Oh, the option is I'd want to be yours. Interesting. Interesting. She may simply have said that on a whim, but Sister Basket's words buoy me a little.
私も
Ah,
バスキア教諭だったらよかったと思いました。
I don't. Yeah, I never would have used this word like this. That's interesting. Ah. Dahlia root. I don't know, I'm doing the good end. I hope I'm doing it right. I guess Chiturin would have protested so far if I was choosing the wrong things, so this should be fine. As I tell her this, a crimson flush spreads immediately from my neck up to my cheeks.
本当に？
ええ。
そう。本当に嬉しいわ。
Suddenly finding myself enveloped in her arms, I let out an uncharacteristic squawk. My cheeks flush even darker as her huge bosom, incomparably larger than mine, squashes against me.
先生。
八重垣さんは本当に人を喜ばせるのが上手ね。
When she says it, she's not being sarcastic.
大丈夫よ。
何が？
私を思いやっていてくれたのでしょ。八重垣さんは人へ優しさを与えられる人ですもの。だからきっとうまくいくわ。
そうですね。
I keep my true feelings to myself. I don't feel like I can simply throw away such genuine affection. I think her hopes are misplaced. Takasaki is sat in front of me, silently eating breakfast. Yesterday she'd received instructions on how to assist me from Sister Basket, but to be honest, despite her nodding dutifully in front of the teacher, I thought she'd ignore her obligations when it came down to it. However, first thing in the morning she'd gotten me up and offered to help me dress like it was the most natural thing in the world. When I'd turned her down, she waited patiently for me to get ready, and then she'd helped me from my bed into my wheelchair just as Sister Basket had demonstrated the previous day.
食事を持ってくるから待っていなさい。
With that, she leaves, her usual haughty look on her face. Then,
やっぱり朝はパンだよな。
oh my god, that looks amazing. What? This is breakfast? Hello? What? Food! Bear! That looks so good. God damn. French toast and bacon and scrambled eggs and a salad. That looks just really fresh and delicious and moist. It's... okay. This game might kill me. I do have an appreciation for how well represented the food is. It's a drawing of food and it looks delicious. So, we've ended up eating breakfast together, just the two of us. Since breakfast is basically a buffet, everything we're having was chosen by Takasaki. I see. I like those. I like those a lot. Yeah. You can pick and mix and match, and yeah, those are really fun breakfasts. And I like them especially because I wouldn't afford at home to spend so much time to prepare a small piece of this, a small piece of that, a small piece of this, and this. So I don't really have that kind of time in the morning. So my breakfast is very simple. But whenever I stay somewhere that has a buffet for breakfast, it's just like, ooh, yes, let's go. A slice of this, a slice of that, a little bit of salad. Ah, yes. It's so fun. Yeah, very nice. Okay, getting over the food stuff, so I don't just kill Bea on my first day back. Okay, toast with lashings of honey and fluffy scrambled eggs. Seaweed salad with crispy bacon. It's a pretty tantalizing array of food. I'm pleased to see that there's more than Sister Basket usually brings for me.
お前、朝はパン派？それともご飯派？その顔はシリアル派か。まあどちらかというと外人顔だしな。黙って食べられないの？冗談だよ。朝からサラダしか食ってないやつをからかったんだ。
She probably cares for her weight. Her portion is so small, I wonder how it could possibly be enough to fill her up. There's a colorful arrangement on her plate, but it mostly consists of lettuce and tomatoes, and I'm skeptical about whether it will really sustain her until lunchtime.
あのさ、もしかしてお前、ベジタリアンとか？
Asking her this, I pop my pill in my mouth and I swallow it down with some cold water. It's the one I take before meals. Then I stuff the lightly singed bacon I've been looking forward to into my mouth. It tastes like bliss. Takasaki is practically glaring at me as I chow down on the meat, which is cut to just the right thickness for me.
違うわ。でも、サラダ以外は食べないようにしているの。
Even if she's not a vegetarian.
芸能人ゆえのスタイルへの気遣いってとこかね。
I don't think I could ever live the celebrity life. Eating is one of my few pleasures. It really would be tough to part with. I feel this all the more sincerely as I bite onto my honey toast. Silence falls over the dining table for a while. While Takasaki is eating her boring salad, I turn my attentions to my as yet untouched scrambled eggs. They're cooked to perfection with fresh cream mixed into the beaten eggs. I take a big forkful and eat it up without any awful condiments like tomato ketchup to sully it. The fresh cream adds a hint of sweetness and the butter a moderate tang of salt. I eat around in a circuit of bread, bacon, scrambled eggs, and salad. Before long, my plate is empty. I'm only 80% full, but that's just right for breakfast.
下げるわ。
Because I'd taken my time, Takasaki finished eating before me. She now leans forward and stacks her plate on top of mine. As she leans in, I catch the scent of peaches. I almost get the sense that the room itself is starting to soak it up.
戻ってくるまでに用意をしておいて。はあ？カバンに教科書を詰めるのよ。これから授業でしょ？
She doesn't usually go, though. A perfectly ordinary classroom scene. That's how the majority of the students here at the academy would no doubt respond, if you were to ask them what was going on right now, as they sit down at their desks for the first period. However,
私にとっては日常じゃない。
I gaze out of the classroom window, only to be blinded by the summer sunlight shining down on me. The clouds are scudding by quickly. I think we may be in for a shower.
普段は寄宿舎の部屋で本を眺めてる時間なんだけどな。
Takasaki must have assumed that I usually attend class. Although I'd suggested self-study in my room, she seemed to take it as a joke, and dragged me along to the classroom without taking no for an answer. I have no idea why salads are always described as something to endure. I don't think salads are something to endure. It's just, depending on what is in there. salad might not be enough to fill you up for a meal, right? Until you get your next meal. And obviously it depends on the person. So it sounded like what she had was just a veggie salad, which is great and it's nice, and I love salads. I eat salads all the time. But I don't eat them by themselves. There's always with like a side, well, like the salad is the side dish to something else, right? But she didn't have anything else, she only had that. That's the part to endure, not the salad itself, but the fact that it might not be filling enough. At least that's how I took it. Okay. My classmates are surprised to see me there for the second day running. I thought perhaps she'd pick up on it from their reactions, but it doesn't seem like Takasaki is that on the ball. She takes me over to my desk, then she sits down in her own seat and starts preparing for the lesson. Tearing my eyes away from the clouds, I pretend to be buried in my textbook and watch as Takasaki reads out the sentence in English. Oh yeah, they are delicious. I love salads.
John took a trip to a long
Eh?
trip. It turned out that
Is that supposed to be English? Aww.
accompanied by pain severely, but he chose to take a trip.
She reads the passage very falteringly. Apparently John is setting out on a journey. Seems like she's not very good at English. I also love to add all kinds of colors in my salads, so I don't just choose ingredients for like, oh, this veggie would suit the salad. Also like, this veggie in this color would suit the salad. I like that very much. I've been praised for it as well, so since I make good salads. Well, celebrities probably don't have much time for studying. My theory isn't overturned. I'm hungry now thinking about tomatoes. Oh, bad. Bad. Not in second period math, nor in third period physics. It seems like her grades are on the lower end of average. Average at best. However... Sorry, Bear. Oh, hello. After completing some basic bar exercises, they move onto the floor to practice. Takasaki begins her center work. She moves from the port-de-bras, or arm movement exercises, to the battement tendu, French, exercises that work the legs. Then after practicing her changements, or should I say that in French? Changement. Okay. I don't know. She starts practicing her pirouette, the spins that first come to mind when you hear the word ballet, if you're a layman like me. She turns on the spot, her posture never faltering, as though held up by a string suspended from the ceiling. From beside me, the president, who's been enthusiastically running me through each move, breathes a sigh of admiration. My eldest sister happened to do ballet, and I somehow remember a bit of the lingo. Despite my protests, she dragged me out to watch her practice, saying it would do me good to get out of the house. She even made me go along to her recitals. Although I don't really have an eye for this kind of thing. I point to Takasaki and address the president, who's been explaining things to me as though I'm a complete novice. I say. I'd meant to force a change of subject, but the truth is I'm so captivated by Takasaki that I can't look straight at her without prattling on like this. Right now her eyes, usually so cold, seem filled with an earnest light.
ああして回転の軸をぶれさせないで回るのは大変なのよ。
だろうね。想像しかできないけどな。
It had been a throwaway comment, without any deeper meaning, but the president's shoulders slump in an exaggerated display of gloom.
やっちまったな。
Since recently, I've been talking with Takasaki, who responds to my self-deprecation with biting retorts. I'd run my mouth without thinking. Poor Rika! Don't bully Rika! Ay, ay, ay.
そんなに暗くなる話題じゃない。なあ委員長、あの動きはなんて言うんだ？
あれはシェネよ。
へえ、小気味いいリズムで踊るんだな。
シェネは速い動きが綺麗なのよ。だから八重垣さんの感想で正解。
She smiles at me and I'm a little relieved. It's a pain to have someone worrying all the time.
そろそろ締めかね。
あれはグランワルツ。最後にリベランスで終了ね。
She performs the Grand Valse, combining grand jet leaps and pirouette before coming to land perfectly on the floor. Then...
ああ、あれは見たことがある。演技の最後でお辞儀することがリベランスっていうのか。
お辞儀、敬意を表す言葉だそうよ。
へえ。
In my guise as a total novice, I nod admiringly at her knowledge. Takasaki gracefully extends her arms as she bows, while our classmates watch on enviously. Although she's known to be an eccentric, it doesn't look like she's anything too outside the box when it comes to her dancing, which is simply beautiful. It really is completely captivating. She looks at me with that haughty glare of hers again.
次は何を踊るんだ？
Right now, I don't even mind it. Only this time though, only when she's performing. At the sound of noisy banging, I put down the book I'm reading and make my way toward the protesting door. Annoyed by the disturbance, I unlock the door and open it. On the other side is...
遅い。
my Amitia partner behaving like her usual strange self. Yeah, she's cute. Her hands are full, so she must have been banging on the door with her foot.
ちゃんと注文通りの品を持ってきたみたいだな。感心感心。
Ignoring my banter, she slips briskly past me with the tray of lunch things in her hands. The scent of peaches tickles my nose, and I'm annoyed at myself for thinking what a nice fragrance it is. Takasaki graciously lays out the food on the table, then...
早く食べて。
That's all she says. Despite the summer heat, her voice is cold.
お前な。
I'm about to voice my complaints, but my stomach silences me the moment the smell of the food reaches my nose. I'm irritated, but more than that right now, I'm hungry. My complaints can wait until after I've eaten.
それじゃ、いただきますかね。
I move my wheelchair into position and pick up my knife and fork. It's beef cutlet, my favorite.
おっと、忘れるところだった。
I take my premium pill, then pick up my knife and fork once more. I slice through the crisp batter, cutting the meat into equal pieces so that it's easier to eat. I squeeze the accompanying lemon over one leaf and leave the other as it is.
イタリア料理はどうも好みじゃ
I'm sorry, Bear.
こいつだけは別なんだよな。
This time I didn't stop. I'm just reading what what the text says. I'm so sorry. First, I toss a bite of the plain half of the cutlet into my mouth. I can taste the olive oil and butter and the tang of the salt and pepper seasoning. The soft meat melts on my tongue, joining the whole thing together in a harmonious dance of flavors. It brings me great happiness. And Bea and I great in distress. After reveling in that blissful feeling for a while, I take the freshly baked bread and cut it into thirds before spreading it with sour cream for my own personal supply. I really liked bread with sour cream as a kid. It was very simple but very tasty. When I sink my teeth into the bread, a rich, milky taste spreads through my mouth, along with a refreshing note of sourness. This is delicious too. Moving back and forth between the cutlet and the bread, I address my amitié partner who is sitting across from me.
で、お前はまたサラダなのかよ。そうよ。
Takasaki is looking at her salad very seriously, like a mathematician faced with a particularly complex equation. So far as I've seen, she's only eaten salad in her time here.
ベジタリアンじゃないって言ってたけど、よっぽどサラダが好きなんだな。もしかして前世が虫とか
Say what now?
黙って食べられないの
Her eyes finally turn from her salad to me. I hadn't felt it during her ballet practice, but it's her usual haughty look.
今朝から同じメニューだろ気にならない方が嘘だもしかしてそういう戒律とかキリスト教にはそんな戒律はないでしょこれは必要だから食べているのよ
She sure phrases things in an odd way.
必要だからねま、野菜を食わないと肌に悪いってのは聞くけどでも私たちくらいの年齢ならこいつも食わなきゃな
I spear a piece of cutlet with my fork and hold it out, offering her a bite. Don't do that. When I look over at those almond eyes of hers, she seems taken aback by my horseplay. But then...
いただくわ
Oh! Okay. Her peachy lips, glossy even when she's not wearing any lip gloss, steal the food from my fork. A blush creeps over my cheeks at the realization that I've just fed her. I try to fight it back.
どうよ
I'm still struggling to keep myself from turning red. After chewing methodically for a while, she gets up abruptly from her seat and goes over to her desk. She takes a pencil and a notepad from the bookshelf, then returns to the table. The soft sound of graphite rubbing against paper breaks the quiet of the table, as her pencil dances nimbly over the notebook. I may not like her, but I'm still curious to know what she's doing.
おいいきなり何を書き出しているんだおい自分ノートよは自分ノート
She stops writing for a second to say only that, before resuming again. Based on her demeanor, it's clear that she expects me to understand what she's doing from just those few words. No way.
それだけじゃ白羽だってわかるわけないっての
I'm unbearably curious. Is it some kind of book of judgment? Are you writing a poem or something? The book of judgment is a little bit too harsh. Writing a poem or something, that's the choice. Okay, great.
もしかしてポエムとか書いているわけ
I doubt that.
ポエム
Takasaki doesn't stop writing. She shakes her head in answer to my question. Her shoulder-length hair flutters, wafting over that smell I like.
詩を書く趣味はないわ読みたいのならクラスの双子の姉妹に頼んだらどう佐々木姉妹に名前は覚えていないけれど机の上に可愛らしいカエルの置物を置いていたわそういうの好きそうな外見じゃない
To be honest,
同じことを考えるとはね
I had spoken with the elder of the two before about how she looked like the kind of girl who enjoyed picture books. And that was mostly on account of her outward appearance.
あいつは可愛いもの好きだが俗物的な意味での可愛いもの好きなんだ夢見がちな系統じゃないよそう
She looks momentarily taken aback. I'm annoyed that I find it kind of cute. She puts her pencil down on the table, then holds the notebook out to me. I'm startled for a moment, as I hadn't thought she was the type to share her private musings, but I take the notebook from her. Hmm.
バレエ英語の授業小 帽子の滑裂ってなんだこりゃ。
言ったでしょ、自分ノートよ。
だからそれがわからないって。もしかしてこれって好き嫌いを書いたノートなのかよ。
She snatches the notebook back out of my hands with a disparaging look, as if to communicate the fact that she's been saying exactly that all along.
芸能活動で今までプライベートがなかったから、好きか嫌いかなんて考える暇がなかったわ。だから自分が何が好きで何が嫌いなのかってことをノートに書き記しているの。
I stare intently into her face, which looks just the same as always.
変わっているな。
I heave a deep sigh.
そうかしら。
そうさ、私よりも変わり者だよ。
She closes the notebook and goes back to eating her salad.
で、そのサラダも好きってわけだ。ずっとそればかり食べてるもんな。
She narrows her almond eyes.
好きなわけがないじゃない。スタイルを維持するために食べているだけよ。こんなものは虫が食べるものだわ。
She says.
はあ、
何を呆れた顔をしているの？あなたが虫だって言ったんじゃない。
そりゃ、そうだけどな。
She's speaking at her salad with a deadly serious expression on her face. In fact, in light of what she just said, it looks to me like she's eating it quite unwillingly.
こいつ、なかなか面白いやつなのかも。
I realize that I'm smiling to myself as I eat my lemon-drenched cutlet. Having shown me an unexpected side to her over lunch, Takasaki forces me to class, without any room for argument, as soon as she's cleared up our lunch things. After 6 whole hours of class, I'm completely wiped out. Bunnies!
なんでこんな場所にいるんだ？
Bunny therapy, yes, I approve. We're at the rabbit pen. We've visited before.
八重垣さん、ほら、こっちよ、見て。
Her voice is excited. I wouldn't usually go along with this kind of thing, but since she sounds so happy...
足元がおぼつかないんだよ。ちょっと待ってくれ。
I call across my bookworm buddy. Sorry.
ごめんなさい。
Across to my bookworm buddy. She comes rushing over me in a fluster. It seems like she's brought me here out of consideration for my fatigue after the unfamiliar experience of attending class.
個
But
人的には図書室の方が良かったけどな。
I'm not about to say that to her face, though.
押すわね。
ああ、
She takes hold of my chair's handles and wheels me over to the rabbit pen.
で、何が見てだって？
ほら、黒いウサギのそば、藁の中を見て。
I strain my eyes looking where she indicated and... Sleepy bunnies. I see something stirring in the hay. If it's a tiny bunny, I'm gonna lose it.
もしかして赤ん坊が生まれたとか？
Oh gosh. Yeah, the music is very chill so far. I like it.
そうなの。かわいいわよね。
Shirahane's eyes are narrowed in bliss as she gazes at the bunnies. To be honest,
小さいネズミの赤ちゃんかと思ったぜ。
I do admire her purity of heart, her ability to see cuteness in these little brown creatures squirming around in the straw. In fact, I can't help but be strangely impressed by Shirahane's femininity in this regard. They're cute little fluffy bunnies! Of course. After watching the baby bunnies in silence for a while.
ねえ、八重垣さん。
Shirahane suddenly addresses me.
なんだ？
アミティエはやっぱりいいものでしょ？
I realize that while this is a genuine question about how I'm getting along with Takasaki, Shirahane is also alluding to her own Amitia partner, who disappeared in the spring.
そうね。 まだ実感できるほど知り合っちゃいないよ。
そうよね。昨日の今日だものね。
She continues staring at the baby rabbits. Then, after a brief pause,
仲良くなれそう？
she questions me again. We're both eccentrics, we'll just end up repelling one another. You would have been a better Amitia partner. Ooh, okay. I guess maybe this one? Oh no, you would have been a better Amitia partner. Okay. The first thing that comes to mind at her question, the notion that in asking me about my relationship with my Amitia partner, Shirahane is alluding to Mairi Kosaka, the girl who disappeared in the spring.
無理だな。
I've lost count of how many times we've dropped that spoiler onto Banjo. I'm sorry, Banjo. I didn't know they would hammer so much on what happened in the previous episode.
性格的にとかじゃなく、生理的にってやつだ。正直、仲良くはなれないだろうな。
そんな。
Facing up to her when she so reminds me of my past self is like dealing with a very particular kind of pain. Shirahane is watching me restlessly.
お前が見てならよかった。
That's my answer.
八重垣さん。趣味は合うし、余計なことは喋らないしな。
I don't know about that. I think because of Suo's disposition and just her general personality, she would end up mostly being dominated in conversations by Erika. So I don't know if that's a healthy dynamic to have. Erika needs someone who matches her own level of intensity, I guess. And I do agree with Sister Basket that Chidori seems to be that match for her. Her cheeks flush scarlet and she smiles.
ありがとう、八重垣さん。でもね。でも、お部屋が本だらけになってしまうわ。
That's also something.
理想の空間だ。
Aw. We laugh together and I feel more cheerful than I have in a long time. There isn't a trace of melancholy in Shirahane's smile either. Apologizing inwardly to the mother rabbit we've started with our laughter, I look up at the huge clouds trailing in overhead. After yawning widely, I suddenly get the sense that something's off. A small niggling sensation that something's not quite right. As though I've just realized that the scenery I've been staring out at is just a reflection.
やっぱ、二度寝の誘惑には逆らえないわな。
Even that niggling sensation in the back of my mind can't win out against my morning doziness. I'm done for the minute I flop down on my face and press my cheek against the cool sheets. I nuzzle my cheek against them a few times and then
おやすみなさい。
I mutter goodnight to no one in particular, closing my eyes as I'm led off into the land of Nod.
起きて。
A voice that brings with it a faint sense of nostalgia from a faceless someone.
起きなさい。
The blankets are yanked off me. Even though it's summer, the morning air is chilly, and as it reaches my skin through my thin nightgown, I open my heavy eyelids.
もう時間なのか。そうよ。早く着替えて。
She hurries me along, my uniform in her hands, and I pull my shoulders in so that it's easier for her to slip it on me.
なんだか こうして着替えを手伝われるのも慣れてきたな。
I listened to her instruct me through the process in a quiet voice, as though to a small child, and reflect on the fact that the full week has already passed now. Takasaki's taken Sister Basket's place and is assisting me with everything except bathing. Over the last 7 days, Takasaki has gotten me up in the mornings, taken me to class, and eaten 3 meals a day.
朝食もらってくるから待っていなさい。
Right, she's brought 3 meals a day up to the room and eaten here with me.
了解。今日はパンよりご飯の気分だな。大盛りで頼むぜ。今日のバイキングはパンよ。
Her response is concise and emotionless.
わかってるよ。
I pick up a towel to go wash my face.
そんなに食べたいのなら山盛りにしてくるわ。
She leaves the room before I have time to respond.
冗談かそうでないか。まだ分かっちゃいないか。
I watch Takasaki depart and then, stifling a yawn, I put my hand to my wheels and go to wash my face. This class scene has become a pretty regular part of my day-to-day life. Right, I didn't want to read over her voice because that felt a little bit insulting. So the Ave Maria echoes through the chapel, everyone listening rapt to the solemn voice. The person singing, Chidori Takasaki.
雰囲気に飲まれていただけじゃないか。
It's the voice that I'd first heard beneath the cherry trees. Back then, my first reaction had been one of irritation. But hearing it again in a formal setting like this, I can just tell how talented she is.
ま、芸能人様だ。歌と踊りができるのは仕事のうちだもんな。
Shirahane must have overheard my mutterings as she looks over at me with curiosity. The final note is swallowed up by the chapel walls, and a huge round of applause takes its place. She was definitely good enough to warrant a clap or two from me too.
終わりました。
はい、とってもお上手でした。ありがとうございます、高崎さん。
This is supposed to be Bible study, but since singing hymns is a tradition here, some of our time has been set aside for hymn practice. Sister Basket has Takasaki sit back down, then starts explaining the meaning of the Ave Maria to the class.
さすが、お歌がお上手で。私の歌声なんて大したものじゃないんでしょ。
She calmly repeats the bitter words I threw at her when we first met.
皮肉だよ。
At my retort, she simply stares at me with that irritated expression of hers.
でもすごいよ。初めて歌ったんでしょ。それであんなに歌えるなんてなかなかできないよ。ねえ。そうね。スオさん。
Shirahane nods and the president looks over at her restlessly. It is out of concern for Shirahane, or is she warning us to stop whispering? Or is it both?
ボーカルレッスンは受けていた。あとは譜面通り歌えばいいだけ。それはできる人理論だよ。シューティングゲームでコツを聞いたら、この面はとりあえず避けろとか言う。それができたらコツを聞いたりしませんよ。
The twins nod in unison, as though what they're saying makes complete sense.
確かにお上手でしたけど、私としてはまゆりさんの方が良いと思いましたけどね。はあ、確かにあの聖母祭での成果は凄みがあったよね。
As soon as they've spoken, both girls look like they wish they hadn't.
失言だな。
Of course, it's because Shirahane is here too. They just had to go up and bring... sorry. So sorry. They just had to go and bring up her amitié partner who disappeared. No, her girlfriend who disappeared. Usually the press would smooth over this kind of awkwardness, but as we're in class, she hesitates to speak up.
そのまゆりという人は誰?
Way to rub salt on the wound. Takasaki, who hadn't turned into the mood at all, beats her to it. The other transfer students are also stealing curious glances our way at the mention of this unfamiliar name.
そのゆりはゆりまゆりという名前ではない。それは
At a loss, the twins both look to Shirahane, which Takasaki also notices.
白羽さんはまゆりという人を知っているの?
Aye. She turns to Shirahane. A complex mix of emotions crosses Shirahane's face in that moment. Shame, bewilderment, and barely suppressed pain. She puts a hand to her chest and falls silent.
あなたが知っているのでしょ? 誰なのかしら?
Aye.
高坂まゆりさんは私のアミティエで。
そうなの。それでどの方が高坂さんなの?
Shirahane has her hand clasped to her chest. She's clearly struggling with some painful feelings. Wait. Oh, okay. There's something extra with the choices, but I think... Right. So those with the special sign don't appear just yet. That's fine. We skip over that. So we're here. We're in the middle of class. You're upsetting Shirahane. Yeah, so it's the second one. I know it's not like me, but... For some reason, my body moves of its own accord.
何?
I grab hold of Takasaki's arm.
白羽が困っているだろ?
These unusually considerate words slip from my mouth.
エリカさん。別に困らせるようなことはしていないわ。ただ、人を訪ねているだけ。お前にとっちゃそうだが、人には事情ってものがあるんだよ。
I frown.
こいつは友人じゃないが、処置仲間なんでね。仲間の事情にずかずか入らないでくれるか。矢吹ちゃん。
For some reason, the twins are looking at me as though overcome with emotion. But Takasaki doesn't seem to care and brushes my hand away.
事情があるなら教えてほしいだけ。高坂まゆりの事情って何なの?
She bears down on Shirahane, and as I move to stop
そ
her,
こまでよ。
a quiet but decisive voice emanates out from behind Takasaki. Wasn't that Rika? Yeah,
今は
that's
授
her.
業中よ、高崎さん。ええ、そうね。なら、あなたは真面目に聞いていればいい。
Savage. But what can I say? Her words make it quite clear that she's taking no notice, but the president gives her an uncharacteristically angry glare.
私は授業中だと言ったの。あなたも含まれるわ。雑談は後回しにして。
おかしな人ね。ああ。もしかして触れてはいけない話題だったの?
Now she gets it.
そう。もしかして
Oh my gosh. Hopefully not. Her disappearance, the simple fact of not being able to see her again, has a similar implication, but the president balls her hands up into fists to hold back her rage, as an angry flush works its way up her neck.
あら、その顔。
彼女はやめたわ。
そう。なら早くそう言えばいいのに。
Ignoring Hanabishi's glare, Takasaki turns her annoyed gaze back to Shirahane.
ただ辞めただけだというのに、おかしな人。
She mutters this like it's nothing.
そうですよね。
Shirahane purses her lips, tears welling up in her eyes. She tries to hold them back, but unable to stem the swell of emotion, she's left helpless as a single tear leaks from her eye and makes its way down her cheek.
今の言葉を取り消して。
Oui.
何を取り消しなさい。
She's no longer making any effort to lower her voice, and her shouting interrupts Sister Basket's lecture. All eyes in the class turn to us.
泣いている白羽に怒っている花火師。こいつは。
It must be obvious to everyone what's happened. Hanabishi, glaring protectively over Shirahane, is the picture of righteousness. Naturally, our classmates' reproachful stares fall on Takasaki.
こっちはこっちでわかりやすいしな。
She's probably just confused, but the way she narrows her eyes as she looks at Hanabishi makes it seem like she's glaring right back. And if that's how it looks to me, our classmates will surely take it the same way.
何かあったのかしら？
Sister Basket addresses the two of them, her expression as nun-like as ever. Needless to say, though, she is getting nothing from Takasaki, and Hanabishi is too emotional to speak up.
八重垣さん、
Sister Basket pushes me for an explanation. Ooh, give a fair account or back Takasaki up. Well, we should give... Yeah, we give a fair account, okay.
高崎が歌ったアベマリアからクラスで誰が一番歌がうまいかって話になりまして。
ええ、それで？
話の流れから聖母祭での高坂の話になったんです。
Sister Basket makes a pained expression. She seems to have guessed the gist of it from what I've said so far.
高崎は高坂のことを知らなかったので、高坂の話を白羽に尋ねて、それで。
そうですか。
Sister Basket clasps my hand and whispers a thank you into my ear.
事情はわかりました。お互いに少しの行き違いからことが大きくなってしまった。ですから互いに許し合いましょう。
許すも何も私には意味がわかり
I
ま
was
せん。
expecting that she would say this. To be fair, she really did not know. And she probably had gotten annoyed of just hearing about it and everyone being quite hush-hush and like just staying away from the topic and so on. So she just wanted to know what it was. But she went about it in a way that is hurting someone. And she doesn't yet have the, I don't know, the sense for that kind of vibe in the room. Intense drama, me like, hey.
あなたね。
Apologize, Hanabishi is on the verge of exploding with anger again, but a commanding voice causes the two of them to straighten up. Sister Basket looms over them, clearly not about to take no for an answer.
声を荒げて悪かったわ。いえ、私も。
Each of them faintly offers their own hollow apology.
寛容は美徳です。許すということは人にしかできません。
Sister Basket starts lecturing in a sing-song voice, a hand to her chest. She seems to think it's over and done with, but
おう、引きそうだな、こいつは。
it's not like either of their apologies had been sincere, not Takasaki's nor the president's. I can tell that the embers are still smoldering among our classmates too, even if any trace of it is faint now. The only one who doesn't realize is Sister Basket, still moralizing, obviously.
お互いに許し合いましたが、聖堂内でのいさかいには罰を与えなければなりません。
Punishment time.
罰ですか？あまりひどい罰は。
花火師さんは今日から1週間の間 私と共に温室での作業を手伝ってもらいます。
The Sasaki twins let out exaggerated sighs of relief at the unexpectedly lenient punishment. At least they seem to understand that all of this started because of them.
そして高崎さんには、そうね、そうだわ、飼育係をしてもらおうかしら。
飼育係ですか？何を？
知っているかしら。温室の少し外れにウサギ小屋があるのを。
はい、学院の案内で。
そう、少し前に子ウサギが生まれたそうなの。生まれてすぐの動物は間違いが起こりやすいから面倒見てほしいのよ。
わかりました。
Her reluctance is plainly written on her face. I can't help but giggle and my gaze meets Sister Basket's.
アミティエなのだから八重垣さんも高崎さんと一緒に面倒を見てくださいね。
This is totally out of left field, and for a moment I'm really taken aback. I look between Takasaki and Sister Basket.
おい、冗談だろ。
If we have joint liability by virtue of being Amitie partners, then why doesn't Shirahane have to take the president's punishment along with her? Although maybe it's better if I play up the fact that I'm confined to a wheelchair and can't really help out with much. My Amitie partner has come over to stand beside me at some point, her expression despondent. Shirahane's eyes are swollen. The Sasaki sisters are watching us restlessly. I glance at the president whose braids are still bristling with anger. My shoulders slump as I swallow my words.
ねえ、なんだ。怒鳴られたわ。
My Amitie partner's got her head cocked to one side. She still doesn't understand.
そりゃそうだ。なんでよ。あのな、いきなり急所を殴られたら、ガンジーだって反射的に殴り返すだろうがよ。
Oh gosh.
殴ってないわ。心の急所だよ。気づけバカ。
Despite my attempt to explain it in plain terms, she still doesn't seem satisfied.
大変ですね。
One of the Sasaki's sisters, overhearing our conversation, expresses her sympathy. I'm honestly grateful to an extent that surprises even me.
嬉しいよ。ハグしてくれ。
She blinks at my unexpected banter, then and then hugs me tightly, as though in consolation. Cute. Throw her to the rabbits, yeah. That should probably be cute.
水って、水を持ってこいって意味か。それ以外にどう聞こえるの？
She fires back at me coldly.
こんなにウサギの世話が面倒だとは思わなかったよ。
I mutter under my breath. 1 week earlier, and since you are her Amitie partner, Miss Yaigaki, you will join Miss Takasaki in looking after them. On Sister Basket's orders, I had ended up taking care of the newborn bunnies. Bunnies!
早く持ってきなさい。
Takasaki's arms are laden with hay to feed them. She gestures with her chin toward the tap located halfway between the rabbit pen and the greenhouse. I pull a face at the dirt track. It's tough going for the rubber wheels of my chair.
それぞれ役割ってのがあるだろ。私は頭、お前は手足だ。暑さで頭がダメになったの？水を汲んだじょうろをどうやって持ってくるんだよ。膝の上に乗せてか。制服が濡れちまうよ。あなた。
She's about to say something, but merely sighs.
本当に役立たずね。
She says it. She said it. She spits out the words, then puts down the hay, picks up the watering can, and stalks off to go fill it. Meanwhile, I pick up the bundle of hay left beside the entrance, open the door, and offer it to the mother rabbit. She stares up at me curiously.
ま、クラスメイトの連中が用もないのに遊びに来るくらいには。
In addition to the Sasaki sisters and Shirahane, some of our other classmates come to play with the rabbits under the guise of magnanimity. They don't do much to help out, but it does seem like they at least feed them their hay. I can't help but smile at the sight of the rabbits munching eagerly on the hay. All of a sudden, the adult rabbits shrink back in surprise. They've stopped eating and are eyeing me warily, perhaps fearful of that smile that people tell me resembles a cat's. Looking after these guys really is... In the weeks since we were ordered to take care of the rabbits, my classmates, the Sasaki sisters and Shirahane, have come to see us most days. Perhaps it's still hard for her to show her face after that quarrel with Takasaki, even though Shirahane is happy to. And it's not just while we're here with the rabbits that she's been avoiding her, it's the same in all areas of school life. She's gallantly doing everything she can for the other new transfer students, but not Takasaki. It seems that right now both of them have simply decided not to get involved with the other. The mood in class is becoming slightly uncomfortable, but if things get too bad, I can just stop bothering to attend. That would be no great loss on my end. That one word descends on me like a slosh of ice water. And I hunch my shoulders and move away from the door to the pen. Before I can even answer, she's gone through the wooden door and inside. She obviously thinks that with the door left open, the rabbits might make a break for it. Once she's done pouring the water from the full can into the drinking bowl, the rabbits crowd around and start sipping from it eagerly. Say what now?
そうなの？こんなに美味しそうに飲んでいるじゃない。
いや、野菜の水分だけで十分だとかなんとか。実際買わなくちゃわからないことってあるよな。
Maybe it depends on the season, but it seems like they do need more water than I thought. I watched the rabbits lap at it with their little tongues.
それと、ちょっと前に寂しいと死ぬみたいな話もあったよな。
待って。
She grimaces at my words, then steps outside and picks up the book she'd left in the wheelbarrow and flips through the pages.
なんだ、自分ノートですか？
あなた、目も悪かったのね。
After this curt response, all I can hear for a while is the whisper of the pages being turned.
寂しいと死ぬだなんて書いてないじゃない。
多分専門書には書いてないと思うぜ。
We'd taken on this job reluctantly, or at least I had, and I thought Takasaki had felt the same, but unexpectedly my Amitia partner has dug up a textbook on rabbit care from the library and has really thrown herself into the task of caring for them.
しかし、うちの学院にその手の本置いてあったんだな。確かに実用書の類もあったけど。もっと硬いやつばっかりだったしさ。
探すのにかなり手間がかかったわ。白羽さんも一緒でないともっと時間がかかったでしょうね。
Takasaki's eyes are still glued to the page.
白羽に探すのを手伝ってもらったのかよ。
I suddenly screeched this out.
言っている意味がわからないわ。白羽さんは図書委員なのでしょ。なら図書のピックアップを手伝うのは仕事のうちじゃない。
空気が読めないやつってのは得だよな。
何？
いいや、白羽に頼んだのなら合点がいったよ。
My bookworm buddy is like the sprite of the library. I bet she can find books in there that are like needles in a haystack to anyone else.
まだ自分ではご飯は食べられないのね。
Takasaki goes back to the pen with the book. From the flow of the conversation, I take it she's observing the baby bunnies. She turns those irritated eyes of hers on the objects of her care.
もしかして
この専門書が正しいのなら今は生後10日あたりね。毛は生え揃い、ウサギらしくなってくる。
I put aside any questions at her weird turn of phrase, though I have half an urge to ask her what the hell a rabbit that doesn't look like a rabbit actually looks like.
ま、確かに生まれたばかりはネズミの赤ちゃんかと思ったしな。ネズミ？あなた字も読めないの？
She thrusts the book at me, her eyes serious despite my banter.
ここにそう書いてあるでしょ。近いって。
She leans over with the book half open, glaring as she points to a section headed Growth Stages. At this proximity, that scent of peaches, her delicate clavicle, and her defenseless chest are...
ねえ、話聞いているの？聞いてるよ。暑いから離れろ。
She steps back with a frown. I've broken out in a strange sweat, and as I cough to recover myself and address Takasaki, she shuts the book.
それで、あとどれくらい世話をすればいいんだ？どれくらいとは？いやだからさ、ずっと世話するわけじゃないだろ。
Don't look so confused.
バスキや教諭が言ってただろ。生まれてすぐの動物は間違いが起こりやすいから面倒を見てほしいのよってさ。だからある程度生態ってのか、手がかからなくなるくらいに成長したら世話しなくてもいいんじゃねえの
？She nods and flips through the pages again.
離乳期はおおよそ1ヶ月くらいだそうよ。1ヶ月か。そりゃ。
My first instinct is to say something cruel, but
ものによれば生体になるまで半年くらいかかるやつもあるか。
thinking of it that way, I figured I'm prepped to put up with just 1 month of it. Bear's enjoying. I'm happy.
まあ世話をするって言っても餌やりと水替えと掃除くらいだし面倒はないか。病気も気をつけなくちゃいけないわ。ウサギも病気とかするのかよ。中耳炎になったりとか。立派な耳してるもんな。
Takasaki won't go along with my jokes and just continues flipping through the book.
有名なところでは不正交合と毛球症があるそうよ。有名って言っても飼ってないんだから聞いたことないっつうの。ウサギの歯はずっと伸び続けるのよ。だからかじるものを用意してあげないと噛み合わせが悪くなるのだって。へえ、サメみたいだな。あれは生え変わるのよ。
She responds conscientiously, then moves on to the next page.
毛球症は毛づくろいした時に自分の毛を飲んでしまうことによって起こるの。毛の塊が胃の出口を塞いでしまい、お腹を壊すだけでなく様々な疾患の原因となってしまうらしいわ。ああ、なんか前に見たことがあるの。
Yeah.
確か猫とかがそうじゃなかったっけ。
It power crept spring. Yeah, in just one stream.
猫は毛を自分で吐き出せるわ。あなた、微妙にずれた覚え方をしているのね。興味ないことはなるべく脳のストックに入れたくないんだよ。もともと動物とは相性が悪い。
I flash her a grin and she regards me distrustfully, just like the rabbits.
不正交合は硬いものを、毛球症は食物繊維が多いものを与えればいいと書いてあるわ。どちらも干し草でいいらしいけど、他にも鼻風邪や目の病気も気をつけた方が良さそうね。
Just as I'm about to comment on her attentiveness. Is that Ichigo? I hear a sneeze that seems almost orchestrated, and I stare at the rabbits, whose ears are pointing straight up in surprise. Oh, Ringo as well. I hear a familiar voice, then notice the Sasaki sisters waving to me.
お前ら、手伝いに来たっていう建前を言うのはやめたんだな。そんなことないよ。お手伝いに。
What's wrong? Are you allergic?
おい、今さら花粉症か？
Oh, she's sick.
ウサギに移すなよ。 花粉症はうつらないよ。いちごねえなら頑張れば悪いわ。困るわ。
The sisters hurriedly flapped their hands at Takasaki's distinctly unamused look. Actually, the younger one's laughing.
ま、手伝ってくれるなら構わないけどな。
Seeing my bookworm buddy smile gently at me, presumably having been dragged along here by the twins, I scratch an eyebrow. Alright. We're going to die. You're going to die. I'm going to die. We're all going to die. Yeah, we are eventually. Alright. Where is the save? Here we go. Sorry, that was quick data. I forgot. Sure, okay, fine. And let's put it over here and I'll overwrite this one next time. Okay. I'm not used to having it. So I just tried to click it for no reason. Alright, cool. I think that settles it for tonight. I know nothing about 90% of the references that the characters drop in every other conversation. It's okay, I also don't recognize most of them. They are from books or movies that I'm not familiar with, but that's alright. I can get the gist of it and then see more or less how that is incorporated into the story or into the point that they're trying to make. And I think that's good enough. This is really pretty. Very pink. I approve. I'm familiar with it. I don't know if I necessarily like it or dislike it. It was mandatory reading when I was in school. Here we go. Yeah. Oh. Oh. I guess there are some cool, I guess, lessons in it. Interesting takeaways. And you see it one way as a child and slightly differently as an adult. You get more of the nuances as an adult. So I do find it interesting. The story is very important in the future. Watch read if you'd like. Okay. Right. I'll keep that in mind. I might get a refresher on it. Although I weirdly have very distinct memories of reading that book. When I was in either late primary school or early middle school. Yeah, she is. I was kind of suspecting, but I wasn't sure. I really try not to get myself spoiled in any sort of way. So I didn't know which characters are, who's gonna be the POV character, who else was gonna be introduced or whatever. If you had told me in the past when she would come up, I'd forgotten because my memory is bad like that. So it was really cool to experience her right out of the gate. Such a strong entrance for a character. And yeah, really happy that she's here and we get to enjoy the character that is so close to your heart, Chidrin. So yeah, happy, good vibes. Happy to be back as well. Although I did need a break from, my routine and everything, and I feel like taking these 2 weeks off really helped me feel refreshed and coming back at it with a new energy, resources, and everything. I did miss you. So happy to be back. Erika's POV is very refreshing. She's so fun. Her dynamics with the rest of the cast is a big reason I love these games. Yeah, she definitely was very interesting also in the spring chapter. But now that we get to experience her like much more closely, yeah, it's very interesting, and I'm curious to see where this goes and how their dynamic is going to evolve, because I'm expecting that it's gonna be very enjoyable and juicy, and not necessarily juicy in the dangerous ways, but just because they banter with each other so well. Yeah, so yeah, looking forward to that. We'll read more of that this Thursday, actually, in just 2 days. All right. This is my happy game. Oh, what you doing? Oh, oh, you miss me too. Oh, hearts, hearts, hearts. Although I see that kids nowadays do it differently, but I can't do it. Like something like no. How is it? No. Ah? I can't do that. I can't. I'm so sorry. I'll stick with this. This is fine. Yeah, alright. For now, I will also say goodnight, Heresy. I do with my index and middle fingers. Yeah, but it just oh, like this? I don't know. I can't get the shape right. So weird. This is so much easier, and like it looks rounder and nicer too. And this is a bit weird for me because my camera is not mirrored, so I have to yeah. Anyways, hearts and love, and thank you so much for being here tonight. I had a formidable time with this first look into the spring chapter. Sorry, not spring, summer chapter. And yeah, I'm curious to continue this journey. Very nice to have you around as well, Bancho. Good luck with everything in your busy life, and I'm looking forward to maybe seeing you around a little bit more whenever you can, because we missed you. And just to put it out there, it was a brief mention between me and Bea today in the Honkai channel, but we will be also streaming Honkai this weekend because the new patch is dropping tomorrow, so we will have stuff to play. And I'm looking forward to that as well. So this is gonna be a busy week, which is great. It's actually something that I've been looking forward to after this break. So perfect. Bancho will be there. Well, anyone is invited to drop by and chit chat and whatever. Oh, all right. See, Bancho, whenever you need a bit of love, we will be here to give it to you because you deserve it. So I hope the set list lifts up your spirit a little bit among all this busy stuff of life, which I totally get. Yeah. Alrighty. I will say goodnight for now. Take care. See you again Thursday and Saturday in the Discord server with some Honkai. Take care. Love you.